Thanks so much, worship team, and good morning, everybody. I am delighted today to introduce one of my favorite people, Amy Flattery. When I became General Superintendent in 2007, one of my earliest goals was to establish the Center for Holy Land Studies because I believe that if we could get young people to have an experience in the lands of the Bible, it would add incredibly to their foundational perspective of their faith. And Mark Twain, in fact, said that Israel was the fifth gospel. And when you do a study in one of the lands of the Bible like Israel or in Turkey or Greece, you really get the feel for that. Amy, from the beginning, served as co-director. Prior to that, she had lived in Israel and worked on her master's at Jerusalem University College in Jerusalem, learned Hebrew language, and ultimately transitioned and taught at Continental Theological Seminary in Brussels, Belgium. And then came and for these last years has been director of the Center for Holy Land Studies at our national office in the Assemblies of God. Since the establishment of the Center for Holy Land Studies, over 5,000 people have been on a journey to the Bible lands. 900 of those have been college students. The center offers a fantastic 3-week Bible study program after the spring semester that I hope many of you will be able to take advantage of at some point in your academic career. There are also archaeological digs and other opportunities that are available, and Amy and her team have done a phenomenal job of really, and you can tell your pastors this as well, if you're planning a Holy Lands tour at all, either in any of the countries of the Bible, whether it's Israel, Turkey, Greece, Italy, do not use any other agency than the Assemblies of God Center for Holy Land Study, because we have the Rolls Royce. We have the best tour guides, we have the best of everything, and any other tour will not be of the quality that we are doing. And I say that honestly. I've been with Amy endless hours on Holy Land tours, and it is the experience of a lifetime. I encourage you to take it early on in your academic journey. So, Amy, I've said everything I wanted to say, and you're going to probably kill me for it, but anyway, come and share, and will you welcome Amy Flattery as she comes and talks to us. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Love you.
I love you too. He's so good. God too. But I love Dr. Wood. Thank you, and thanks, Dr. Johns, for having me here. I'm so happy to see all of you. Everything he said is true about our programs and our teachers and what we do. And we also create resources for students, teachers. If you have any questions about a paper you're writing, call us. We'll help you. But we just love it, and we just want the people to know the Lord more as much as they possibly can. And the center uses the lands of the Bible to help teach that. So that's what we do. Thank you for having me here. And let's begin. And I'd like to start with, I did ask God what he wanted me to say to you. I asked him weeks ago. You're welcome. Okay. I asked him weeks ago, and he said, tell them they're valuable. And I said, really? And that's not because you're not valuable, but that's it. But that's not it. So he said, tell them they're valuable. So there you have it. I said it. You're valuable. You're pretty great. Now, this is not grammatically correct. My PowerPoints are not going to be perfect. I don't want any judging. But you're pretty great. I don't mean you're pretty great. I mean, you're pretty great. The Lord thinks that you are pretty great, and he wanted me to tell you that. So I did. All right? So here's how I know. So I went to college. I did not have a plan. Anybody? Anyone? Okay. I was supposed to go to college, so I went to college. Of course I was going to go to college. What was I going to do and study? No idea. Zip, zero, nothing, no clue. But I showed up. So what did I do? I was what you would call indecisive. I did not have the ability to make a confident decision regarding my future. I was young. Give me a break. Although when I was singing this morning, you guys were singing, I'm like, you look a whole lot more put together than I did when I was in college. So I hope this still applies to you. I changed my degree program 5 times. Anyone? Can you beat me? Oh, you might. Okay. I ended up with a BA in Biblical Studies and a minor in physical education, history, social work, art, and geology. Seriously, right? I know. You're welcome. It's amazing that I still completed college in 4 years. My last year, I had a 20-page paper due every single week. Personally, I thought that was a little extreme. But so be it, as I tried to finish my biblical studies classes in 1 year and on time. It was so difficult that I borrowed a paper from my mother, who was taking a class with Eugene Peterson at Regent University in Canada, and I simply did not have enough time to write. That is my excuse. Don't do this. I mean, honestly, especially if you're a biblical studies major, don't do this. What kind of person would you be? Worst grade of my program. Honestly, I thought my mother was a better writer than that. But just don't do it. It's not going to pay off, okay? Early on in school, because of my indecision, granted I was only 18, maybe like some of you, I focused too much on what everyone else told me I would be good at, rather than learning to listen well to the voice of God. I had to do a better job of training myself and spending time with Him to hear His voice and what He had for me. I was a people pleaser. Anyone? Come on. And to be honest, I usually did well with most things that I decided I was going to do, which actually made it more difficult to make a decision, except math. Notice I didn't say math in any of my minors. May you rise up and be called blessed if you love math. My son is getting a PhD in math, and bless him. Show off. No, he's not. He's getting a PhD in math, and I looked at one of his books recently, and there were no numbers in his book except for page numbers, so I don't know if he knows really what he's doing. But that's what he's doing. After college, I moved to Israel, and I studied Second Temple period Judaism and the origins of Christianity, which is basically I studied Jesus. Okay? Can I tell you, God did not waste my indecision. He did not waste those minor degree programs. His hand was on me because I am valuable to Him. I moved to Israel because I wanted to continue biblical studies, but listen to some of my classes. Biblical geography in the land of Israel. Tie into geology. We got one. I cannot tell you how many Bible stories actually have to do with geology. The one right here, Moses striking the rock the second time. We know when he was supposed to talk to it. Totally geology. You can ask Dr. Wood about it after. I'm going to do this to you a lot. Okay. So the next one, I studied ancient icons. Art, I'm 2 for 2 with my minors, which tell an entire biblical story on their own. They speak the Bible without using words. They play a huge role in telling the early story of the Bible. In fact, most ancient icons picture the birth of Jesus in a cave, which is actually more accurate than a barn. You can talk to Dr. Wood about that after. Welcome. Boom. Have you ever lived in a foreign country and tried to survive? Social work. Take my little boy, for example, Lucas. He's 22 and 6'10" now, but I used to push him up and down I pushed him in a stroller. I didn't push him. I used to push him up and down the streets of Jerusalem and take him to parks. He was adorable. But oh, the times when I was yelled at in the same block to put a hat on my child. It was 80 degrees. Okay? 20 steps later, take your hat off the child. It's too hot. All the time, everywhere I went, every single person saw it their job to make sure children were cared for, which is a good thing. But come on. But social work, okay, it kind of relates. So I'm 3 for 3. Do you guys see what's happening here? Okay. All right, slide 6 here. I believe I have climbed every hill, mountain, nook, cranny in Israel, Jordan, Turkey, Greece, and Italy, including a sewer system. You're welcome. Physical education at its best. 4 for 4. You got me? History, I mean, look where I get to work, right? Do you understand? Though not my primary focus, I still use every single one of those minor degrees in my life and in my work today. So I just blabbed all of that. Why? Here is what I want you to hear and to know. Because you are valuable to Him, God does not waste even our wondering and our indecision. The hand of God is directive in nature. It is decisive. It is confident. He will use our successes and even our failures in His kingdom. We simply need to be obedient and listen to Him. Remember that your life is a journey with God. He is your partner in this venture. Why does He want to partner with us? First, isn't it amazing that God wants to partner with us? That He wants to do life with us, that He wants to be our good Father. But why does He want to partner? Because you are valuable to Him. You reflect His image, and you are precious. Big football players. You are precious, all of you, to the Lord. Regardless of what you've heard, what people tell you, what you think of yourself, what you've experienced, you have value and you are precious to God, and He wants to journey with you in this life. Some of you already know this, but you are going to have to remind yourself of this every single day, okay? I recently returned from Turkey. In fact, Center for Holy Land Studies is going to Turkey in May with college students. If you want to talk to me after, you can. Shameless plug. Let's go. We filmed a 12-part study on the foundations of our faith and lessons in discipleship. It was amazing. Turkey is amazing. Much of our study while preparing was focused on the book of Revelation, specifically the letters to the 7 churches. I am sure many of you know, but I'm not going to assume. Revelation is our last book in the Bible, okay? You never know, and that's okay. Revelation is our last book in the Bible. The first few chapters are comprised of letters to 7 churches. Those letters encourage and admonish the churches depending on their actions and beliefs. In these letters, there is a warning of sort that ran through as a theme. Can I sum it up in one word? Indecision. And we have something to learn from these churches. You see, we have room to be indecisive about our favorite color, what we will eat for breakfast, whether we like math or not, what kind of ice cream we like, bubble gum, okay? Whether we like Brussels sprouts, but we cannot be indecisive regarding our relationship with God. We must be confident in that. Today, people do not like the words cannot, or you must, or you have to. And to that I say, too bad. Sorry, I'm really blunt, okay? But it is very clear in the Bible, and especially the books of the New Testament and the first few chapters in Revelation, that there is no time to be indecisive in your relationship with God. I am not trying to intimidate you, although I wore high heels and I'm like 6'1" right now. I am not trying to intimidate you with this urgency, but pleading with you not to be indecisive when it comes to your relationship with Him. Out of all the people in the world, God chose you. Don't exclude yourself from that. Well, yeah, maybe he chose everyone else in here, but not me. God chose you because you are remarkable. If you think about it, it is amazing. Let's say it like this. Thankfully, God is not indecisive in his relationship with us and indecisive in choosing us. So choose him back day after day. And do not be half-hearted in your choice. Be confident. It is that important. It is that urgent. To be honest, there is no time to waste. There's not a tomorrow. So I ask you, plead with you, out of love and care, to be sure that you are confident in your relationship with God. One of our studies in Turkey was on the church in Laodicea. In the book of Revelation, Christ says to that church, I know your works. You are neither cold nor hot. Would that you were either cold or hot. So because you are lukewarm and neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. Okay, first, sorry. This has geology written all over it. You see those minor degrees working again. You guys can do it, promise. All right? You see, Laodicea was near the city of Hierapolis, which is today called Pamukkale, and near the city of Colossae. You got it? It's okay. It'll be up there. Hierapolis, look at that. Oh, my goodness. Was still known and is still known for its hot springs. Trust me, you want to go with us to this place. All right? Colossae was known for its cold mountain water. Laodicea channeled hot water from Hierapolis, cold water from Colossae, and when they met in the middle, they were lukewarm and became a calcified mess, and they were no longer usable. They knew exactly what Jesus was telling them. Do you understand? Jesus is so brilliant, I'm telling you guys. Oh, I can't even. Their mind already knew the uselessness of lukewarm water. Jesus said he'd rather the people be hot or cold. Instead, their discipleship and their commitment was simply unremarkable to God. How was the church lukewarm? The answer is found in the next verse. You say, I am rich. I have acquired wealth and do not need a thing, but you do not realize that you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. But let's learn something more about Laodicea. This was a city that was known for its wealth, for its great medical school, and it had a successful clothing industry, believe it or not. But Jesus said it was not rich but poor, not healthy but blind, and not well clothed but naked. He hit them right at their core. What happened? Their success led them to rely on themselves instead of Jesus. Their problem was not only a lack of commitment, but was also a sense of self-sufficiency. Relevant to the biblical world and our world today, agreed? Do you understand? I think you do. Lukewarm or indecisiveness towards God and your relationship is not acceptable because it causes reliance on yourself and others and not on God. We have heard about and seen this type of failure over and over and over and over again. So I would ask you, please, in your commitment to God, be decisive every single day. Make a confident decision. In this, though, I get it. Life is not always wonderful and roses. There are then things to remember. One, you do not need to rely on people to show you the beauty of your relationship with God. Rely on God to show you the beauty of your relationship with Him. People will, unfortunately, let you down. I know this, I've experienced it, but that is not God. Life is difficult sometimes. If you look at the start of the early church and when the disciples and apostles and what they had to go through, and still some today, life here on earth is not always easy. Maybe you already know this, but you can and you will make it. Despite difficulty, it can still be beautiful and it can still be fruitful. 3, there will be pain and suffering, and some will be greater than others. I know I have experienced great pain. Perhaps you have, or you are right now, or you will. It's okay. I ask that you be patient with yourself. Pain and suffering does not diminish your relationship with God, but has great potential to strengthen it. Suffering does not diminish your value, but can show a sweetness in a close relationship with your Father in heaven. Some pain and suffering is short-lived. Some is a longer period of suffering. Do not try to escape it. It does not work. But I encourage you to walk it well. There is a way to carry yourself through pain and suffering. To do it well is total reliance on God to be ever present with you. That's his promise to us. Your job is to praise him, to groan with him in your suffering. His job is to carry you, to join you, to walk with you, and in this, you will find peace. I tell you all of this not to tell you what to do. Actually, I'm totally telling you what to do, okay? But it's because the Lord says it. He's just telling me I have to yell it at you in love. Remember, God can work with our indecisive nature in many decisions. I showed you how he did it with me and continues to do so, seriously, a lot. All right? Because he values me and my relationship with him, he's going to keep doing that. But as we go through life, we would all do well to remember the warning to the church in Laodicea, the community who once was in love with God, who then became lukewarm, relying on themselves due to their successes. Instead, I ask you to please be decisive. But really, who am I? God is asking you to be decisive, to be confident, to be remarkable. Why does it matter? Why would you ask me that question? It matters because your life matters. Your relationship with God matters because you are valuable and greatly loved. I ask you to choose well because you bear his image, and because this is the biggest decision you will ever make in your life. So remember, as you walk through your life, relax, breathe a little, it's okay. Relax in God. He has you, all right? He thinks you're pretty great. I told you, that's what he told me to tell you. And that goes for every single one of you. And he was very, very firm about his message to you today. So if any of you don't feel pretty great in your relationship to God, you are so valuable. If any of you are struggling with indecisiveness, whether it's even just one little thing, pray to the Lord and give it to him. And choose him so strongly. I urge you, because there is no time for you to wait on this. This life is not that long. Let's be honest. Live it well for the Lord. You are so loved. If anyone needs any prayer or wants to come up here and just rededicate, or to say, God, I have been indecisive. Sorry, I'll shape up. Or, Lord, I'm super confident in my relationship with you, but let's chat about it. Or if you need some prayer for anything, I ask you, you're welcome to come up here and stay where you are in your seat, but I'm just so happy to be with you today. It's my greatest honor. to tell you how precious you are to the Lord.